his character has been in the bunker for 5 years and is now 15 years old. So it's hard for him to be in the bunker. He's curious about the real world, and he's got this girl in class that he's like making goo goo eyes at. I feel like if this was a normal movie, that girl would come with them. Do you know what I mean? No, that doesn't happen. Spoilers. He just meets some other girl. And I was like, I'm conflicted because it's like, oh, was he in love or just horny? Like,
Yeah.
so yeah, I'm a little torn with stuff like that.
Yeah, I was gonna say, like, if he is 15 years old, it's chances are he's just horny.
Super horny. Yeah. Yeah, I was trying to think about myself at 15 years old. I was like, yeah, I had a crush on that girl and this new girl I just met. So,
What's going on, everyone? I am Phil, along here with Joe.
hey, Phil. Hey, everybody. How's it going?
What's going on, Joe?
Saw Greenland Migration, the sequel to Greenland. Um, and we were talking about it. We did a 90-second review that you can see here, here, or here. And we were like, let's do a longer review because there's a lot to dig into, kind of. I mean, it depends on how you feel about disaster movies or Gerard Butler or um, how Greenland's in the news a lot lately. All of that factors in, except the it being in the news a lot. Uh,
Mhm.
but I do wonder if years from now, people will be like, "Oh, there's a Greenland franchise about the whole Trump thing and how he tried to take over Greenland," and people were like, "No, it's about an asteroid that strikes Earth, and there's a
You're like,
bunker."
it's about a different disaster.
Yeah, it's a completely different disaster. Um, yeah. And 20 years from now, will it even be called Greenland or will it be called Trumpsylvania? I don't want to get political, but let's just talk about disasters. How do you feel about disaster movies? Are you a fan of like you got your alien disaster movies like Insurrection Day or Independence Day? Insurrection Day is different. Independence Day. I said I wasn't going to get political.
I I think, well, like, Insurrection Day sounds like, um, one of those asylum films where it's like
Sure.
a
Yeah.
the Chinese bootleg of the popular franchise.
Yeah. It's yeah. It's the Transmorphers and the Revengers in Insurrection.
Yeah.
I mean, I'm not hating that. Anyway, there are tons of different kinds of disaster movies, and I'm a fan. I like Independence Day. I like Armageddon. I think that qualifies too. Um, I just rewatched 2012, which is bonkers, by the way, if you haven't seen it. I can't believe that movie is as old as it is now, and that they go big. They're like it's just like a city just completely falling and a plane like going under all like bridges and like it's crazy. They go all out. Green Greenland is on the other spectrum a little bit more subdued. It has big action, both the first movie and this sequel. Uh, Big visual effects, like meteors falling and killing people. Um, but it also is super grounded. I think partially because we're following a man by Gerard Butler, his wife played by Marina Baccarin, who we all know from Deadpool and Homeland and uh, Browncoats. What's that show? Firefly. Uh,
I I would have expected it in a different order.
oh yeah, you mean reverse chronological? Or yeah, yeah, she's famous for all those movies though, or all those properties. So they're a couple, and they have a son that's with them, and it's all about them as a family trying to get from point A to point B. First movie was they were going to get from their home in the southeast to Greenland, um, and then in this movie, they're going from Greenland to what ends up being the south of France, because that's where the asteroid or meteor, I don't know the scientific term specifically, um, that's where it hit, it struck, and the rumor, all the buzz in post-apocalypto is that it is like a fertile place, and the air is breathable, and for some reason, like the radiation can't get down there. Um, so that's their new mission. They're going to go from Greenland to a Greenland, and that's the only way I can think about keeping this franchise going. because you can't just keep go from one place back to Greenland in part 3, or, you're like, "We need to go to Ireland," or as some call it, the Greenland. Um,
I
so
was gonna say, are they really Prison Breaking this? Where it's like the first season is Prison Break, the second season is On the Run, and then season 3 is back to Prison Break.
back to Prison Break. No, I mean, there probably won't be a 3. To be honest, I'm a little surprised there's a part 2, uh, although the first movie is very, very fine. It's good. Good, not great. But it must have done money, otherwise they wouldn't make a sequel. But I will say that when Greenland I rewatched Greenland. Is it Greenland or Greenland? Either way. I rewatched it this week in preparation for part 2, and when it got to the end, I was like, "Oh, I do wanna know what happens next." Like, we never get to see the rebuilding, and that's something I really love about this movie, is that we get to see what happens after that. Because in disaster movies, we get to see all your top 10 monuments explode and blow up, like they're all gone. I swear, I between watching the 2 Greenland films and 2012 this week, I mean, name it, the Washington Monument, the, Statue of Christ in Rio de Janeiro. Just, the Eiffel Tower, the Sydney Opera House. I've seen them all crumble, but, uh, the Greenland movies are much more grounded. They're rooted more in the family, and part of that is because they're just going from point A to point B. They are not the scientists that are, like, trying to save the world. They're just trying to
Mhm.
live in the world. We never get to see the rebuilding. We only get to see the disaster. And to see a rebuilding and a failed rebuilding was great. And them to say, "Oh, to pivot and have to do we need to do something else." That's great. As they ventured out into the world, it was exciting. They, like, come to Liverpool, and it's like they're in a boat, and they hit the top of a building because Liverpool is half underwater. That's cool, that's fun. But then they're all like, "Oh, there's some people over there," and there's a huge crowd of people. There's, like, people everywhere. I was like, "No." But it ended up as excited I was about seeing a post-apocalyptic disaster situation, it really was like ones we're very familiar with. We see tons of like, what happens after the zombies attack. We have tons of that in media. It was a lot like that. It's people looking
Yeah.
for shelter, scavenging for food, trying not to die, and then finding out that the true villain is man. Do you know what I mean? Uh, it's a little frustrating because we meet a bunch of they meet a bunch of people along the way, and a lot right up front, a bunch of them die, and it's like, why are we getting invested in anybody? Or not everyone dies, but some of them they'll meet, and then they'll be like, "Oh, thank you so much for your help," and then they'll leave. But like, it's really focused on this core group, which is fine. I understand why that's important. Um, there were some weird things, like the son in this movie is played by Roman Griffith Davis, who was not the son in the first movie, but is super talented and is very good in this. And I only just saw this when I before we started recording, but he was Jojo Rabbit from the movie Jojo Rabbit. He's got a good resume, and he's very good in this movie. His character has been in the bunker for 5 years and is now 15 years old. So it's hard for him to be in the bunker, and they sort of established that like he's curious about the real world, and he's got this girl in class that he's like making goo goo eyes at. Um, and then it, I feel like if this was a normal movie, they would that girl would come with them. Do you know what I mean? But no. I mean, it's mild spoilers, but she doesn't. We don't know what happens to her. She doesn't pop up at the end like, "Oh, you were coming to Craterland as well?" No, that doesn't happen. Spoilers. He just meets some other girl. Um, and I was like, I'm conflicted because it's like, oh, was he in love or just horny? Like, what's the a and both are fine, but what are we supposed to think in the moment, and how connected are we supposed to be to this? And like I said, it's not like a real movie, but it's more like real life. And is that better? Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
So yeah, I'm a little torn with stuff like that.
Yeah, I was gonna say, like, if he is 15 years old, it's chances are he's just horny.
Super horny. Yeah. Yeah, I was trying to think about myself at 15 years old. I was like, "Yeah, I had a crush on that girl and this new girl I just met." So, yeah, sure, why not? Um, yeah, so yeah, but he's just a 15-year-old kid, so you can't be too mad at him. Visuals in this movie are good to great. I mean, there's meteor showers that are awesome, really beautiful, there's particles of the asteroid that hit that are sort of make a ring around the Earth, and they see it at nighttime. Very cool. Has some sadly forgettable sequences, and I only say that because there's one that's really great. They have this one where they cross the English Channel. The channel is gone. While Liverpool was underwater, the English Channel is dried up and it's like a canyon. So they have to cross it on these like cheap ladders and stuff. It's a great scene. It's like one of those things like I'm still thinking about hours later, and in the moment I was like, "Oh, it's like exactly what you want from a movie like this." But the other stuff, there's no other scenes like that or that are staying with me the same way. It's a lot of stuff like they get like marauders stopped their car and tried to steal it, so they had to fight them. But it wasn't like unique. And I think had this movie had a few scenes like this English Channel scene, we could be talking about something I would recommend. I I love all movies, so like if you love this kind of movie, please go see it. But like movies are also expensive. And I wouldn't recommend this for someone who's just kind of on the fence. Like, wait, it'll be fun. Um, but man, if it had a couple of extra scenes like that, ooh, so good.
Do you know who directed it?
This is directed by his name is Rick Roman Waugh, who also directed the first one. And let me give you a couple of those other movies. He did Angel Has Fallen, which is another Gerard Butler movie. He's slated to do Night Has Fallen, which is the another one in the Fallen series. I love Olympus Has Fallen and I love London Has Fallen. The end. uh, he did he did a movie called Felon, which is kind of like Fallen. Fallen? No, too far off. And he did Kandahar, which is another Gerard Butler movie. He owes Gerard Butler money, apparently, and just is like, yes, what's
Or
next?
Gerard Butler owes him money?
Yeah. Oh, he's got the new Statham movie coming out this month. Bro, he's got 2 releases this month. One Jerry Butler, one Jason Statham's. All right.
Guy's a busy man.
Yeah, he's a busy guy. Now, this Statham's movie has got to be way more action packed, but we'll see. We'll see. Um, so he's a good director. I mean, I I know I just told you I didn't like a couple of his movies, but this movie is perfectly watchable. It's a nice tight hour and a half. And it's a lot of emotion packed into this. Like I was saying, like it's really grounded compared to other disaster movies, and they really push the heart and the connection of the family. When this this kid, the scene where he meets this other girl, she takes him back to her room to like look at what she's collected over the years, and he's like, "Can I show you something?" And it's like, "Oh man, here we go." This guy's but he pulls out this. He's like, "It's just in my bag. Let me just whip this out." And he takes out this big sheet that he's made, that he's put the constellation on, and he lays down on the ground holding the sheet up. And he's like, "You got to lay down next to me." I was like, "This guy's working it." He's smooth. He doesn't even remember that girl's name from back in the bunker. Uh, but that moment, not because it was funny and awkward or weird, but it was sweet. It was like, they have a real moment and they look at each other or there's the shot of her looking at him. It's very nice. So this movie has tons of heart. There's even at the end, like, I mean, Butler's making good choices here. I always liked him. I think he's great. I love Gerard Butler. I mean, that's not true. First time I saw him was probably, are you ready? Probably Dracula 2000 or Cradle of Life, the second Tomb Raider movie. Both
Oh, he's in that?
both trash movies. And I was like, "I don't like this guy." And then he grew a beard, did a billion crunches, and was like and kicked some guy in a hole, and I was like, "I love you." Like,
Where have you been all my life?
yeah. "Where have you been all my life, you Spartan master?" Uh, yeah, so, like, ever since, 300, paying attention to what he does and, like, even though he's had as big of misses as Dracula 2000 and, Cradle of
Yeah.
Life, I think he's got some really nice stuff in his, resume, like, was it Cop Shop a couple years ago was great, Den of Thieves, the first one, not so much the second one, but, yeah, I'm Gerard Butler, I'm on board, like, whatever he puts out, I'm gonna be like, "Oh, let's check it out." Man, Law Abiding Citizen, oh, so good. Okay,
I
in
feel like
this
you're making up some of these movies.
oh, yeah, for
I
sure.
don't I
You
don't
can
know
be
if I've
like,
heard
"Oh,
of,
yeah,
like, some of these movies.
I swear, they're all real movies." Um, what he there's something he does in this movie that I was really impressed with, though, like, he humbles himself and he asks, like, he pleads with someone for help, and I was like, "Yeah, I can't see, like" I mean, I don't wanna drag anybody else, but, like, Vin Diesel or The Rock doing it that same way,
Yeah,
and I was like, I'm glad that he's willing to say, like willing to look weak, because we need that more in our action heroes, and, I mean, yeah, this is a fun movie, it's a good movie, it's not great, but it's good.
yeah.
Yeah.
Honestly, I've seen the commercials for Greenland, because I watch football and, like, they've been playing those
Well,
commercials, but
sure.
I didn't know there was a Greenland one. And it was like, "What is this movie?"
I know, I've seen it marketed both as Greenland 2 and Greenland Migration. Uh, so, I mean, I don't know, we'll see if it was a smart move or not, depending on how much money it makes, but, like, yeah, I will say you can watch this without seeing the first one, because
Yeah.
it basically is like, "An asteroid hit. This is our life now." To anyone that goes to see it, though, the first 10 minutes, 15, 20 minutes or whatever take place in a bunker, and I swear they only had 2 rooms in that place. And they just were repurposing it, like, "This is the yoga room and the classroom," and I was like, "Bro, that's the same room." There's one point where they bring the kid in, and he's like, "Oh, I hate going to this place." I was like, "Bro, that's where you were in school 3 seconds ago."
Is it like,
Just
did they just, like, just change the angle, like, a little bit? Like, they're
I mean,
like,
they
"Oh, this is
barely
the classroom. Yoga room."
yeah, they barely did. I swear that it was like that room and the hallway, and I was like, "That's it. That's all it's down there." Like, I can understand why they wanna leave. But I'm sure it's just a cost saving thing, and it was just one of those things I noticed where I was like, "Oh, this is weird."
I was gonna say, like, maybe because they kept the budget down, that's why they were able to make a Greenland 2, and
That's right.
perhaps a Greenland 3.
Yeah. Well, yeah, Greenland theory is gonna go from 2 rooms in the bunker to 1. They're go Yeah. I mean, good for them,
Nice.
though.
Yeah. Alright, everyone, have you seen Greenland 2 or Greenland? Did you know that Greenland existed? Not the place, but the movie? Uh, Drop us a comment. And if you like this, hit that thumbs up, give us a like, and if you are new here, hit that subscribe button, and we'll catch you all in the next one.